The salt-laced air, thick with the scent of distant land and the promise of open water, clung to the polished teak of the Serafina as she cut a silent, elegant path through the shimmering turquoise of the Ionian Sea. It was a late afternoon in July, the kind of golden hour that painters chase, when the sun dipped low enough to cast long, dancing shadows from the rigging and ignite the whitewashed villas clinging to the cliffs of Kefalonia with a warm, ethereal glow. On the aft deck, nestled into the plush, custom-made cushions, sat Alastair Finch, the 60-something scion of a venerable London banking family, a man whose life had been meticulously charted by quarterly reports and discreetly managed portfolios. He held a crystal tumbler, the ice clinking softly against the rim, as his gaze drifted from the perfectly furled sails, a testament to the crew's unseen efficiency, to the distant horizon where the sky bled into the sea in a seamless gradient of sapphire and amethyst. This tableau, a carefully composed scene of leisure and understated power, spoke volumes about the contemporary understanding of maritime luxury. It was not merely about owning a vessel, but about curating an entire experience, a mobile sanctuary from the relentless demands of the terrestrial world, a concept artfully explored by critics examining the aesthetics of affluence and the consumption of curated experiences. See, for example, Thorstein Veblen's The Theory of the Leisure Class, 1899, which, while dated, still offers foundational insights into conspicuous consumption, or more contemporary analyses like those by Bourdieu. Cultural Capital and Distinction, e.g., Distinction, a social critique of the judgment of taste, 1984. This was his sanctuary, his escape from the relentless digital churn that defined his weekdays. The Serafina, a 50-meter Perini Navi sailing yacht launched in 2022, was not merely a vessel, it was a meticulously curated world, a testament to wealth transmuted into an experience of sublime, almost anachronistic luxury. Her composite hull, designed for both speed and stability, sliced through the gentle swell with a barely perceptible hum, a testament to the advanced hydrodynamics that undergirded her classic lines. Du Bois Naval Architects, Serafina, A New Era of Sailing Superyacht Design, 2022. The design philosophy of Perini Navi, under the visionary leadership of figures like Fabio Perini before his passing, and subsequently through its evolving ownership structures, has consistently emphasized a synthesis of performance, comfort, and aesthetic purity, distinguishing their yachts as icons in the sailing superyacht market. Perini Navi, Our Story, Parinanavi. It. Last visited. Insert current date, e.g., October 26, 2024. Finch often reflected on the sheer sensory richness of these moments, the rhythmic lapping of water against the hull, the almost imperceptible sway, the cool breeze carrying the faint, sweet perfume of bougainvillea from the shore. It was a calculated detachment, a deliberate shedding of the terrestrial, a pursuit of a freedom that, ironically, required an intricate web of logistics, technology, and human expertise to sustain. This paradox, the pursuit of freedom through complex systems of control and service, is a recurring theme in critical examinations of elite leisure, reflecting a desire to reclaim agency and authenticity in an increasingly commodified world. See, for instance, Zygmunt Bauman, Liquid Modernity, 2000, on the fluid nature of identity and consumer desires in contemporary society. His personal chef, a former Michelin-starred prodigy, was already preparing the evening's repast, the subtle aromas of fresh seafood and herbs wafting from below. A steward, anticipating Finch's unspoken desire, silently replenished his drink. This was the quintessence of the modern sailing maritime lifestyle for many of the global elite, an orchestrated ballet of comfort and control, where the raw power and unpredictable beauty of the sea were carefully framed, curated, and rendered supremely comfortable. It was a far cry from the rugged self-sufficiency often romanticized in maritime lore, yet it offered its own profound connection to the elemental, albeit through a highly polished lens. For Finch, these moments represented not just leisure, but a deliberate act of cultural immersion, a sophisticated engagement with a world both ancient and cutting-edge. The meticulous orchestration of service on a vessel like the Serafina is, in itself, a highly specialized form of labor and management, governed by international maritime labor conventions such as the Maritime Labor Convention, 2006, MLC, 2006, often dubbed the Seafarer's Bill of Rights, which ensures decent working and living conditions for crew members, even in the luxury yacht sector. This regulatory framework, enforced by flag states and port state control, underpins the seamless operation that allows owners like Finch to experience such undisturbed tranquility. International Labor Organization, Maritime Labor Convention, 2006, A Practical Guide for Seafarers, 2D edition 2009. The ancient and cutting-edge dichotomy he perceives is a hallmark of the superyacht industry, which blends centuries of naval architecture with advanced materials science and digital systems, creating vessels that are simultaneously tributes to tradition and harbingers of future technology. The contemporary sailing maritime lifestyle, once the exclusive domain of seafarers and adventurers, has undergone a profound metamorphosis, evolving into a multifaceted phenomenon that straddles the realms of ultra-luxury, environmental advocacy, and a burgeoning, albeit aspirational, mainstream appeal. At the apex of this transformation are the superyacht builders and their visionary clients, who are not merely purchasing vessels, but curating bespoke ecosystems of unparalleled opulence and technological sophistication. Firms like Lursen and Fedship, perennial leaders in the custom superyacht segment, consistently push the boundaries of design and engineering. Consider the recent launch of Project Cosmos by Lursen, a 114-meter vessel that exemplifies this trend with its hybrid propulsion systems and lavish interiors, catering to a clientele for whom environmental consciousness is becoming as crucial as the helipad. Similarly, Fedship's Project 821, unveiled in 2024, set a new benchmark for hydrogen-powered propulsion in superyachts, a clear indication of where the industry's cutting edge resides. These innovations are not just market-driven, they are increasingly influenced by evolving international maritime regulations aimed at reducing the environmental footprint of shipping, such as the International Maritime Organization's, IMO, Strategy on Reduction of GHG Emissions from Ships, IMO Resolution MEPC.304/72, adopted April 13, 2018, and subsequent amendments, which sets ambitious targets for decarbonization. These innovators are led by figures such as Peter Lursen, CEO of Lursen Yachts, and Henk de Vries, CEO of Fedship, whose strategic visions and multi-generational expertise continue to define the pinnacle of maritime luxury. Their leadership is rooted in a relentless pursuit of innovation, often collaborating with renowned naval architects like Espen Oino and designers such as Andrew Winch, who translate the most extravagant client desires into tangible, seaworthy masterpieces. The design process for such vessels is a complex interplay of engineering, aesthetics, and regulatory compliance, often involving years of conceptualization, design, and construction, a process akin to bespoke architecture on water. See, for instance, the detailed case studies presented in Superyacht Design, an Art and a Science, various authors, forthcoming 2010 onwards, or available in specialized industry publications and design journals. The contractual frameworks for these projects are highly specialized, often incorporating elements of construction law, international sales law, e.g., CSG, though often excluded in favor of specific national laws, and maritime law, with bespoke agreements. The contractual frameworks for these projects are highly specialized, often incorporating elements of construction law, international sales law, e.g., the United Nations Convention on Contracts for the International Sale of Goods, CSG, though often expressly excluded in favor of specific national laws and maritime law. These bespoke agreements frequently address issues such as performance guarantees, liquidated damages for delays, intellectual property rights for custom designs, and complex payment schedules tied to construction milestones. The legal precision required in drafting and negotiating these contracts underscores the significant financial and reputational stakes involved for both builders and owners. Furthermore, the selection of jurisdiction and governing law for such agreements is a critical consideration, often influenced by factors like the builder's location, the owner's domicile, and the desire for a neutral forum in the event of dispute. Arbitration clauses are also common, providing a confidential and potentially faster dispute resolution mechanism compared to traditional litigation, often specifying institutions like the London Maritime Arbitrators Association, LMA, or the International Chamber of Commerce, ICC. These legal considerations are paramount in managing the inherent risks associated with high-value, long-term construction projects on an international scale. The evolving regulatory landscape, particularly concerning environmental standards and crew welfare, also necessitates agile and forward-thinking legal counsel to ensure compliance and mitigate future liabilities. The integration of advanced technologies, such as hybrid and alternative propulsion systems, introduces novel legal questions regarding certification, liability for new and improved technologies, and compliance with emerging international standards for safety and environmental performance. These complexities require a multidisciplinary approach, blending expertise in maritime law, contract law, and environmental regulations to navigate the intricate legal waters of superyacht construction and ownership. The increasing emphasis on sustainability, for example, has led to the development of green clauses in construction contracts, incentivizing builders to meet specific environmental performance benchmarks beyond minimum regulatory requirements, thereby further complicating the already intricate legal landscape. Beyond the superyacht segment, the sailing maritime lifestyle encompasses a broader spectrum, ranging from luxury catamarans offering unparalleled stability and space, to expedition yachts designed for remote exploration, and even fractional ownership models that democratize access to high-end vessels. Companies like Sunreef Yachts have carved out a niche in the luxury catamaran market, offering spacious interiors and innovative layouts that appeal to a clientele seeking comfort without sacrificing performance. Their solar-powered models, for instance, exemplify a growing demand for eco-conscious luxury. Meanwhile, the burgeoning expedition yacht market, with players like dAmore Yachting, caters to adventurers who desire to explore the planet's most remote corners in ultimate comfort and safety, often incorporating features like ice-strengthened hulls and extended range capabilities. The legal implications of operating in remote or environmentally sensitive areas are significant, involving compliance with international conventions such as the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships, MARPOL, and specific national or regional environmental protection laws, as well as navigating complex port entry requirements and customs regulations in diverse jurisdictions. Moreover, the rise of fractional ownership and yacht charter services has introduced new legal structures, including co-ownership agreements, timeshare contracts, and sophisticated charter party agreements, each requiring careful drafting to define rights, responsibilities, and financial obligations among multiple parties. These models aim to make the dream of yacht ownership more accessible, but they also introduce layers of legal complexity regarding asset management, operational responsibilities, and dispute resolution among co-owners or between owners and charterers. The legal frameworks governing these arrangements must balance the commercial interests of service providers with the recreational and investment interests of participants, often drawing upon principles of property law, contract law, and consumer protection. Environmental advocacy has also become a powerful undercurrent shaping the industry. The blue economy concept, which promotes sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, improved livelihoods, and ocean ecosystem health, is gaining traction. Organizations like the Yacht Club de Monaco, through initiatives like its Monaco, Capital of Advanced Yachting platform, actively champion sustainable yachting practices, promoting research into alternative fuels, waste management solutions, and responsible cruising. This is not merely a philanthropic endeavor, but a strategic response to increasing public scrutiny and regulatory pressures. The legal landscape surrounding environmental responsibility in yachting is rapidly evolving, with stricter regulations on emissions, waste disposal, and ballast water management. Flag states are increasingly implementing and enforcing international conventions, and port states are exercising greater control over vessels entering their waters. Owners and operators must navigate a complex web of international and national laws to ensure compliance, with potential penalties for non-compliance ranging from fines to detention of vessels. Furthermore, the concept of greenwashing, where companies make misleading claims about their environmental practices, is a growing concern, necessitating transparent and verifiable environmental credentials for yachts and yachting operations. Legal challenges may arise from consumer protection laws if environmental claims are found to be unsubstantiated, highlighting the need for robust verification processes and clear communication regarding sustainability efforts. The development of new classification society rules for environmentally friendly vessels and the emergence of specialized environmental certification schemes further underscore the legal and technical complexities of sustainable yachting. The aspirational mainstream appeal of the maritime lifestyle is evident in the proliferation of yachting media, charter opportunities, and marine leisure events. Publications like Boat International and Yachting World cater to a broad audience, showcasing everything from cutting-edge superyachts to accessible cruising guides. Yacht charter companies, from global players like the Moorings to boutique luxury providers, offer entry points for those who wish to experience the allure of the sea without the complexities of ownership. Even virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR, platforms are emerging, allowing potential clients to tour yachts and destinations remotely, further expanding the reach of the maritime dream. This broader appeal, while positive for industry growth, also raises legal questions regarding consumer protection in charter agreements, online booking platforms, and the accuracy of marketing materials. The legal terms and conditions of charter contracts are critical, defining the responsibilities of the charterer and the owner, insurance coverage, and procedures for dispute resolution. For online platforms, issues such as data privacy, cybersecurity, and cross-border consumer protection laws come into play. Furthermore, the use of imagery and virtual experiences in marketing must comply with advertising standards and intellectual property laws, ensuring that representations are accurate and do not infringe on existing copyrights or trademarks. The increasing globalization of the yachting industry means that these legal considerations often involve multiple jurisdictions, requiring an understanding of diverse legal systems and international private law principles to ensure enforceable agreements and mitigate legal risks across borders. The future of the sailing maritime lifestyle is intrinsically linked to advancements in sustainability and technology. The drive towards decarbonization is perhaps the most significant trend, with yacht builders and designers exploring a range of innovative solutions. Hybrid propulsion systems, combining traditional diesel engines with electric motors and battery banks, are becoming standard in larger vessels, offering reduced emissions and quieter operation in sensitive areas. The adoption of hydrogen fuel cells, as seen in Fedship's Project 821, represents a significant leap forward, though challenges remain in terms of hydrogen storage, infrastructure, and regulatory approval for widespread use. Methanol and ammonia are also being investigated as potential future fuels, offering higher energy density than hydrogen, but presenting their own technical and safety challenges. The legal and regulatory frameworks for these alternative fuels are still evolving, requiring close collaboration between international maritime organizations, flag states, classification societies, and industry stakeholders to develop comprehensive safety standards, operational guidelines, and certification processes. This regulatory uncertainty creates both opportunities and risks for innovators, necessitating careful legal due diligence and strategic engagement with policymakers. The development of infrastructure for bunkering these new fuels in ports worldwide is also a critical legal and logistical challenge, involving agreements between port authorities, fuel suppliers, and vessel operators, as well as compliance with local environmental and safety regulations. Beyond propulsion, the focus on sustainability extends to every aspect of yacht design and operation. Lightweight, recyclable materials are replacing traditional composites, reducing the vessel's overall environmental footprint throughout its life cycle. Advanced waste management systems, including compactors, incinerators, and sophisticated wastewater treatment plants, are being integrated to minimize discharge into the marine environment, often exceeding MARPOL requirements. Energy efficiency is paramount, with designers optimizing hull forms, implementing smart climate control systems, and utilizing renewable energy sources like solar panels and hydro regeneration. The legal implications of these sustainable practices include compliance with evolving international standards for material sourcing, waste disposal, and energy consumption. Certification by recognized environmental organizations or classification societies can provide legal assurance of compliance and enhance a vessel's marketability, but the criteria for such certifications are constantly being updated. Furthermore, the legal landscape surrounding the end-of-life, disposal, or recycling of large composite yachts is a growing concern, as current regulations and infrastructure are often inadequate for handling these complex structures in an environmentally sound manner. This area will likely see increased regulatory scrutiny and the development of new legal obligations for manufacturers and owners in the coming years. The integration of artificial intelligence, AI, and automation is poised to revolutionize yachting. AI-powered navigation systems can optimize routes for fuel efficiency and comfort, predict weather patterns with greater accuracy, and assist in collision avoidance. Automated systems can manage everything from engine performance to climate control, reducing the workload on crew and enhancing operational efficiency. The legal implications of AI and automation in maritime operations are profound. Questions of liability in the event of an accident involving an AI-driven system, the legal status of autonomous vessels, and the regulatory framework for their operation are still largely undefined. International conventions, such as the Convention on the International Regulations for Preventing Collisions at Sea, COLREGS, may need to be reinterpreted or amended to account for autonomous navigation. Data privacy and cybersecurity are also critical concerns, as AI systems collect vast amounts of operational and personal data, necessitating robust legal frameworks to protect this information from unauthorized access or misuse. The legal responsibilities of software developers, system integrators, and vessel operators in the context of AI failures or cyber attacks will require clear delineation and robust contractual provisions. The impact on maritime labor law is also significant, as increased automation may alter crew compositions and skill requirements, potentially leading to new legal challenges regarding employment, training, and crewing certificates.